Ukrainian officials say around 13,000 people have been evacuated from several cities in just a single day. But a senior minister said nobody had been able to leave the besieged port city of Mariupol. Ukraine accuses Russia of firing at a convoy of people trying to leave a village near the capital Kiev. Government officials say 7 people who were not using an official evacuation route were killed. Russia hasn't commented, but it denies targeting civilians. There are fears that Russian attacks are increasing across Ukraine, with more shelling now being seen in western areas. The BBC's Yalda Hakim is in the city of Lviv.
In the last 48 hours, we've continued to see more airstrikes taking place in the west of the country, in a city called Lutsk, which is just northwest of here. A military airbase was struck there, and we understand some Ukrainian soldiers were killed. That does make people here in Lviv very nervous, because up until now, this part of the country has remained untouched.
Moldova, one of the poorest countries in Europe, has seen huge numbers of people cross its border from Ukraine. The migrants have raised the population there by 4% in just a fortnight. There are fears that if Russian forces take the nearby Ukrainian city of Odessa, those numbers will increase even further. Nico Popescu is Moldova's foreign affairs minister.
Even without any dramatic changes of the front line, we are approaching a breaking point. But if there's a dramatic implosion and fighting around Odessa, that would be a complete catastrophe for the humanitarian situation here. And for that you cannot plan, you cannot prepare. It would just be completely overwhelming.
President Putin of Russia has held a 3-way telephone conversation with the French and German leaders. It's believed he showed no willingness to de-escalate the war in Ukraine, but European leaders are determined to keep lines of communication open. A group of scientists say Russia's invasion of Ukraine has hindered their important research into climate change. British researchers have been working with Russian scientists to study frozen ground known as permafrost, which covers around 60% of Russian territory. It's feared that huge quantities of carbon could be released if the icy ground melts. Here's our correspondent, Greg Mackenzie.
Permafrost is considered to be any land that has been frozen continuously for more than 2 years. The researchers from the University of Northumbria and a group of Russian colleagues had been studying rock formations in Siberian caves to estimate how warm the Earth was when the permafrost last melted. They say reliable data is a clue that it's largely missing from current modelling. But the British scientists have now left Russia and fear it could be some time before they're able to complete their work.
Rugby Union and Ireland kept their hopes of a Six Nations title alive with a 32-15 win against England, who played for almost the entire game with only 14 men. Earlier, Scotland got their first win since the opening weekend, beating Italy 33-22.